Well, I've been looking at some more information about the 288 divine within mankind. Now, for those that are only just learning of the divinity that exists within mankind, I do suggest that if you are really to benefit from the information in this video, that you go and inform yourself with the Mystery Teachings series, the 13 Real Tribes of Israel series, and the rest of the Project Bluebeam notes. And then you will have some full understanding of the relevance of this information to Project Bluebeam. Because this is why the government are creating this common threat. This is why they have spent their time influencing the collective mindset with the alien influence, but also we've got the religious mindset with the demons and fallen angels. They have basically psychologically attacked each part of our collective and have only ever been preparing for the time where they would face their imminent demise, because they can no longer be sustained when the galactic summer returns, when the light returns. And that denser, more physical energy in which they can manipulate is no longer something that takes prominence, because we're moving into a part of the cycle now that is more in the ethereal part of the cycle. So basically the Holy Land is returning. You know, if people want to look at the Holy Land and what is holy, we're speaking about the ethereal. So people really need to also remove the programming of, when you do speak about Jesus and Mary Magdalene and God, that you are a religious person, a Christian person, or a Catholic person, or some person with a label. And I often have people do that. And I often say to people, I am no label. I am here only as a part of creation for my Father, with a connection to my Father, my Creator, and my Mother, because there's a female influence as well for our ethereal soul. And I have been created to experience creation as part of my Creator, and so also what I exist on and around and with is also part of my Creator. So I must respect that. And this is what we've forgotten as a species. We've forgotten our connection to Mother Earth, and this has also been the programming with the Christians, because often if you speak of Mother Earth, or you speak of our planet in that way, they call you a pagan or a worshipper of the earth, or a sun worshipper. There's always a label that they like to give you, and a sinner is the ultimate outcome of any label that they place upon you. But that is their programming, and that's what they have to understand, that they have been programmed. And so the information is telling us that what they've actually sought to hide from us, and what they've decided to try and make themselves, is that there is a divine race within mankind. There are 288 divine beings within mankind. We can see it within this symbolism within the Baltimore Basilica. It's showing us this information, but now that it's given us these basic codes and we do understand now what we're looking for, we can see that this information is now showing itself everywhere, because just since understanding that we are part of this 288, so therefore we see 3 layers of 24. So the first 24 of each race make up the Vitruvian man. And anyone that is just starting out in this information, I would suggest you at least go and make yourself familiar with this video, because it's a very good visualization of the first divine imprint of mankind onto foundation, which is basically what Leonardo da Vinci was showing us with Vitruvian man. So imagine that as God onto foundation in 4 races, and imagine him made up of each gender and 24 in each race, which is white, red, yellow, black. Okay? And so this is where you need to begin. And this is the first divine imprint of the divine intelligence, of consciousness of our Creator onto foundation. Okay? The first extension is in this first 96, which is 24 in each race. And then that layers twice more and becomes 72 in each race. So you have 3 layers of 24. So imagine a pyramid and then layer it down. Okay? And this is what we're seeing within the 72 now, within each race of the divine within mankind. And so this is basically what we see the number 72 now referring to, if we bring it down to the mythology and the scripture, and the information is now just basically giving us information on one race of 72 divine ones. And so we can see this as 72 disciples sent by Jesus. We've got the 72 races resulting from Noah, the 72 languages confused to the Tower of Babel, 72 disciples of the last times, which will teach, preach and cure, and these are all parts of the world on all the continents. It goes on. It is absolutely everywhere. And just as I said, this is what happens when you find the codes and you understand what they relate to. Suddenly you're able to put together all of the information that they've tried to destroy, because that's basically what they've tried to do. They've tried to destroy all of the information, and then they've just kept the information to themselves within their codes that nobody understood until we actually began to understand what it was all relating to. And that's the divinity within mankind, and it's what they fear, and it's what they're preparing for with this alien agenda. And this is why I'm putting out the information about Project Bluebeam. And this is why it's important that people understand that they have this agenda to put fear into the collective when there's an illumination of mankind in whatever process that is, that they obviously know about, because we can actually see what is approaching based on their own behavior. So obviously they fear something, and obviously something is approaching for them to start trying to influence fear in the collective about this alien, negative, fearful agenda that brings everyone united together, all religions, all countries. So I'll post this information underneath as well, and people can have a look at that. Now it's also in 1 Chronicles 25:7, 24 divisions of musicians. All these were under the direction of their father to sing in the house of the Lord with cymbals, harps and lyres for the service of the house of God. Asaph, Jeduthun and Herman were under the direction of the king. So that's also the 3 layers almost you could look at. Perhaps that's talking about, now that we know that the 72 is 3 layers of 24. Their number who were trained in singing to the Lord. With their relatives, all who were skillful, was 288. So it's basically like the 288 are the divine that illuminate and then basically give people an understanding of who they are. They become the prophets, they become the teachers and guides of mankind. This is what the mythology is all saying. And this is what you'll find. And this is what they've hidden. Now, before I go, I want to just mention that I've found some more information in regards to this race in some information that Alan posted in the group by this poet here called Virgil. And he goes on to say, now has come the last age of the Cumean prophecy. The great cycle of periods is born anew. Now returns the maid, returns the reign of Saturn. Now from high heaven, a new generation comes down. Yet do thou at that boy's birth, in whom the iron race shall begin to cease, and the golden to arise all over the world. Holy Lucina, be gracious. Now thine own Apollo reigns. So basically saying the light of Lucifer, Lucina, is regressing, and thine is going to be Apollo reigning. Okay? And goes on to say, and in thy consulate, in thine, O Apollo, shall this glorious age enter, and the great months begin their march under the rule. What races of our guilt yet remain, vanishing, shall free earth forever from alarm. He shall grow in the life of gods, and shall see gods and heroes mingled, and himself be seen by them. Okay, and this is showing that the divine ones will be seen apart from others, will be seen apart from others. They will have a different appearance, okay? Be seen by them, and shall rule the world that his Father's virtues have set at peace. So it's like the light of the Creator returns to restore balance. The galactic summer returns. The ether, the land of the holy returns. And we see a more peaceful time, and we move out of a more physical time where the plastic kings and queens can rule in a more in a part of the cycle that's got more physicality. And it goes on to say, but O thee, O boy, until shall earth first pour childish gifts, wandering ivy tendrils and foxglove and colocasia mingled with the laughing acanthus, untended shall the she-goats bring home their milk-swollen udders, nor shall huge lions alarm the herds, unbidden thy cradle shall bring into wooing blossom. The snake too shall die, and die the treacherous poison plant. Assyrian spice shall grow all up and down, but when once thou shalt be able now to read the glories of heroes and thy father's deeds. Okay, so it's like when the light returns, it's like the information and knowledge of the forefathers and the heroes returns, okay? And to know virtue as she is, slowly the plain shall grow golden with the soft corn spike, and the reddening grape trail from the wild briar and hard oak shall drip dew of honey. Nevertheless, there shall linger some few traces of ancient wrong to bid ships tempt the sea, and towns be girt with walls, and the earths cloven in furrows. Then shall a second Typhus be, and a second Argo to sail with chosen. So meaning that there's always going to be the weeds among the wheat, okay? A few traces of wrong. There's got to be a cause to the effect. That's how creation experiences itself. So we're seeing that in this, information, this knowledge relayed to us by this poet from the 70 BC to 19 BC called Virgil. And I'll leave this information underneath as well. Now finally, just more information that we're finding within this ancient knowledge is more accounts of mythology and stories of glowing beings, glowing people, okay? And there's this information about Macarius of Egypt. And it goes on to say that the mythology is about his face that used to glow in the dark. And thus appeared his name as the glowing lantern. And we can also see the glowing lantern of the wilderness or the glowing monastery, and when we look to the wisdom, the hermit card, we see that it's also got the lantern, and it also relates to wisdom, and it also relates to knowledge bearing and an understanding of divine knowledge. So again, we can see this information. Now, finally, we've got information from the Inca and what they say about their prophets. Now, this information comes from a book called Keepers of the Ancient Knowledge by Joan Parisi Wilcox. And I have done videos on this book before and the information in this book. But I did want to just relay this information here again about mythology and information and knowledge. And this is our knowledge that we should not dismiss. This is knowledge that was left by our forefathers for a reason. It gets handed down and it gets made knowledge so that it becomes an archetype within us. It becomes information within us that stays within us. And it always remains the same. And so this information, for most people, if you are connected to some understanding of who you are, shouldn't really come as a big surprise. There should be some level within you, within your soul, within your heart, within your consciousness that understands this information on that level. Even if it's information you're hearing for the first time, that there's some familiarity to this information for you because it's speaking to you on a certain level that's written into your DNA, telling you that you're part of something greater. And this is what they've tried to hide with all of the disinformation from all of the different religious institutions, from all of the different establishments. There is no religious institution, no establishment, no group that is now operating in this level of consciousness that has anyone's good at their motivation. You know, they are only motivated at the moment for survival in a time where they have built their existence on illusions, and those illusions are now crumbling. So you will not find anything within those institutions anymore. They stole truth, they manipulated it, and they made it something that they could use as a tool and a weapon to control the collective. And so now we've got to reclaim all of this information. What do you think is sitting underneath the Vatican? 5 miles of knowledge that they have taken, stolen, plundered, murdered for. I mean, it's in history. It's not like it's hidden information. It's well known. And it still sits there, but we still have some remnants that they didn't manage to destroy, thankfully, and we can try and piece them together. But as I say, it's all due to the codes, because the codes is what connects everything. So this is what this book says. It goes on to say, the manifestation of enlightened rulers. The Saper Inca, which means sole lord or supreme ruler, and Koya, who is the Sapa Inca's female equivalent, are a spiritually enlightened couple of the 6th level. Now, the 6th level is also relating to the physical, so you can even say that they are a spiritually enlightened couple of the, manifested plane. Goes on to say, they are recognized by the bright white or golden aura that surrounds their physical bodies. It is unclear if they will arise from among the 12 5th level Parcos or from elsewhere. And we've got more symbolism here, because anyone that follows the mystery teachings and the other information knows that the 12 is relating to the 12 tribes, okay, within the first divine imprint. And then it goes on to say the 5th level. Well, we know that 5 is the hand of God on foundation, number 5. So we see that in there again. And so it goes on to explain the process of illumination. This is their prophecy. This is what they say is coming and they're waiting for. So again, we've now got the Inca, the Andeans and Peruvian, and now this from Egypt, and we've got the Christian mythology, and we've got the Judaism and Kabbalah, and we've got Taoism, and we've got the Zohar, and we've got Confucius. I mean, what more do people want to convince themselves of their greatness? I don't know what else we can, basically do to see this. It's all there. If you want to seek it, it's all there. I'm just going over the same old ground. And so, again, I'll put all this information underneath. And if people want, to understand more of what I'm talking about, go and look at all my playlists. Start with the mystery teachings, then go on to the 13 real tribes of Israel, then look at the real project Bluebeam as well in that playlist, because that's putting together what I've found out, what they're trying to do, because they know this information that we're piecing together now, and they're in a race to stop what they think they can stop, which is quite a joke when you're dealing with, look what you're dealing with, you're dealing with a divine race that are here as part of creation, and their time in the sun is returning, basically. And that's pretty much it, guys. I did just want to quickly show you this website that we've been keeping an eye on, the mystery of the iniquity, and yeah, just really interesting information again. We've got last one standing, and then it's like, will not be them. Okay, and it looks like Jesus, and it looks like some evil dude standing over Jesus and annihilating him. So that's quite interesting. And then they go on about the cornerstone and that it's infiltrated, and they go on a lot about the Freemasons, really hating on the Freemasons. Also, lots of psyop about glowing face, wake up people, manifested cornerstones, this is interesting. Which way are you headed? And then they're showing the light, but then the light is just below hell. They've got hell there. I mean, wouldn't that be heaven if you were a, fanatical Christian? Bit interesting, that one. This one's interesting too. Make the right choice. And then it's got last corner, last thought, the end. So showing that the zombies might be in for a bit of shock and awe. I don't know. Where did they originate? They go more into this alien stuff on here as well. As I said, they hate on the Freemasons. And, basically the Freemasons did start out, with their motivations in the right place. They were trying to protect the information, but, they just got corrupted. They got corrupted as well, and they use the information to just gain power over the collective too. And so really they are no different to any other organisation at the moment. They are not there to benefit the divine ones. They are there to save themselves, to save this existence they've created in their illusions that they think's important, in their materialism, that they find some worth in materialism when there is no worth in materialism anymore. It's all an illusion, and it's all their illusion. So it goes on, you will know them by their fruit. Interesting. Alien theme again. Chaos and the Masons. And then they go on about the sheep and the goats. They pay special attention to that. The thinning veil. I found that interesting. So we are approaching towards a time where the veil is thinning. We are going from the ethereal, the physical to the ethereal, and there will be a time where the veil thins. And so that's what's known as the apocalypse. And if anyone goes and has a look at the meaning of that word, that's what they'll see it means. But they've just, again, created it to be something fearful. Grand deception. Holy light. Demons are the eye of the storm. Prince of Persia. God takes care of his own. And then they've got the 3 different groups of sheep and the Holy Spirit. So almost as they might even be somewhat resentful of a divine race within mankind, and they're separating them and calling them sheep. And it's interesting because you even see them having this sphinx that's asleep, so they're almost like laughing at the divine race that have no idea that they're divine, because there are people out there, there are 288 people out there that are about to illuminate, and I could imagine, you know, they are the sleeping sphinx that have no idea. Well, some of them might. Who knows? But this is the whole absolute great thing about creation is that the kings and queens, the real kings and queens, will be known. There will be no falseness anymore. There will be no plastic illusion, no image, because everyone just exists on image. That's why I do not do well in these times, because I'm not a person that exists on image. And so I find it very difficult to exist in a time where people do exist in image. And this is, you know, not the way that we should actually view each other, as just like this, you know, image where we have to be more successful than each other and view each other in that way as having some worth and credibility. This is their illusion. Actually, it comes from within, and it becomes from being a good person and who you are. And I think this is what the saints are in the symbolism. I do think that some of the symbolism shows me that there is an ability for some mortals that aren't the divine race to be that good of spirit and be that good of heart, that they do actually illuminate and, you know, become like a, you know, a glowing one, a divine one. So again, it's because the crown is earned, okay, through the correct way, through the giving, through being a conduit of divine light, of divinity. Look at this one, permission granted, yeah, like, you know, it's just interesting. And then it goes on about God and God, so I'm sure that there's more information about that. Interesting that they have God and then they've only got 4, and we know that God's 5, okay? So they're bastardizing the symbolism of God. Anyway, they talk about the sparrow as well, so there must be some interesting symbolism in that, but I'm not interested in getting into it. Just thought I'd give that to you, you know, bring that to your attention. Just thought that was quite interesting, and I just like seeing what this site regurgitate and what they want the collective to, you know, look at that are interested in this type of information, because this information can be found when you Google the Galactic Federation of Light. This comes up, one of the top ranking sites. So we know who this is aimed at, okay? All of these, you know, freakoids that are following the Galactic Federation of Light, that have built their towers on illusions, and then when they play their card out with this false alien thing, these little freakoids, these little unicorn huggers that are really nasty when you scratch the surface, most of them, are just going to turn and just get really, you know, they're going to go crazy, because they've basically bought the line. When you have a look at how many people follow this Galactic Federation of Light stuff and all of this crap and all this type of information, whoa, you know, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be having little brain meltdowns when their whole reality just turns into one big lie. Anyway, guys, I'll leave it all here. I'll even link this one underneath, and as I said, anyone that's just viewing these videos for the first time, you will have to go and inform yourself with the rest of the information so you understand how we are coming to all these conclusions and these understandings, and how, yes, we're about to see these fuckers really play the last card, the alien card, on mankind. Well, I'll leave it there, and as always, peace out.